All right, we're live again. Let me get my Amazon thing going here. I'm starting later than I had planned because of this Apple thing. I was like, who's going to watch my live stream if Apple is live streaming, right? Like, how do you compete with that? So, there you go. So now, here's the deal. I only have until about 4, so about an hour and 10 minutes here. And we'll go from there. So this is going to be a different type of thing than we've typically looked at here. So this is a mini PC, but it's designed to work as a network-attached storage device. And I have no idea what I'm getting into in this box. As you can see, it's still sealed. So we're going to pop it open and see what's inside. Hang on one second, everybody. All right, so we're going to open this thing up and see what it's all about. And what this is an Intel N100 based machine, again, with the ability to work as a NAS. And Reese Edwards is joining us. Thanks for popping in. I am back from Germany. It was a whirlwind trip. So I left Monday and I came back on Friday. So it was a very, very short trip. I was there a little bit longer last time. All right. Some people I know are still there. Like, oh, that's a long week. Okay, so let's open this up here and see what we've got inside. And thank you, Edward, for putting this on your X feed. I should probably start streaming to X and other platforms too. I've got the capability and the bandwidth to do that. I just need to get that going here. It's a very slow opening box. All right, there's layers. It's like one of those mummies in Egypt. What's underneath? All right, here we go. This is one of these Chinese things, so it's got the crazy name. This one's called Hyaluk. Hyaluk. The Hyaluk NAS device. Now, I don't even know what this has inside of it. So, in full disclosure, they sent this to the channel free of charge, but they're not paying for what you're seeing here. So this is the unit here. I'll give you a different view of it. My messy desk here. And then it's got these drive bays. It looks kind of nice. They come out horizontally. And if you can see inside there, you've got like all right, so it looks like it doesn't come with any storage, so I'm going to have to go in the back and go find some hard drives in a minute. But I am curious as to what else is in here. Kevin Hawthorne is joining us. Good to see you, my friend. All of my usuals are here. Ned Dredd. Smooth as butter, isn't it? Yeah, they're great. I really like them. And Paul is here. Nimble Blitz, yeah, it's like a nesting doll, right? Well, my wife has one of those. She got one of those from Russia, I think, when she was visiting years and years and years ago. Oh, cool. So Kevin's got some street is that a street interview? Or just as a, oh, cool. Check it out. Parker Street Ministries. Yeah, so $349. I don't know what it comes with as far as, like, I don't know what's going to happen when I boot it up. So... And, you know, like all of these Chinese things, you don't know what you're getting insofar as the long-term quality is concerned. So we will see what it's got inside. There were some questions before about voltage. This is a 19-volt power supply. But it's an N100. And I think this one comes with 16 gigs of RAM? I have no idea. We'll open it up and see what's inside. So we'll get out my trusty screwdriver here in a second and crack her open and see what we've got. But it's called the Hyaluk. And that's all I know about it. So, but you know what? Like I'm getting fascinated with Unraid. So this might be a great Unraid machine. And if you're curious about the screwdriver that you're about to see, it's called the Wow Stick. It is on sale for $50. And you can find it on the link in the video description that will also take you over to my Amazon stream. So there you go. Let's see if I can find the right screwdriver for the job here. So it comes with all these different types of screwdrivers. So I'm guessing I need this one. And it has a nice plastic case. I haven't charged it yet though, so I may need to charge it at some point. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we're going to take this thing apart and see what's inside. There are some like metal, there's like a little shaving, it's a little piece of hair. All right, so if you're curious about ports on this, because this is technically a mini PC and not a NAS, it has a DisplayPort out and HDMI out. And it's got two 2.5 gigabit Ethernets. I think this is an Intel controller also. And then you've got a USB 3 here, headphone microphone out, and a SD card slot. Jay Richardson says, I have that driver, it's nice, but all these guys make cases that don't fit all the accessories. Yeah, that's the problem, is even the case that it comes with, it's all kind of tightly packed in there. But all right, so let's put my screwdriver to the test here. Isn't that cool? It's got a little light on it. Is that neat? And you get your thing off of there. You have to give it a little bit of a twist to get it going. It might just be that I have to charge the battery. So it doesn't have a ton of initial torque here. So give it a little twist and then let the screwdriver do the rest of the work there. The Wow Stick, 50 bucks. Isn't that cool? A bunch of you bought this the last time we did the stream. And the reason why I bought it is because the guy that does all the Mister stuff, he uses this. So I'm thinking for him, he's like a professional engineer, which I am not. So I'm like, well, if it's good enough for him. And I was looking for something like this, and there you go. The the Wow Stick. Wow Stick. Yeah, that's the other problem. You're right. So all the stuff just spills out. Yeah, the case, the portability factor is not great here, but the quality of the screwdriver is nice. I even like the little light it's got there too. So I'm going to charge it up maybe tonight. Okay, so now, oh boy, this doesn't look so nice. So now what? Does everything slide out? Like, what's the deal here? Oh, there's like more. Well, that's weird. So how does this? Who has one of these? Where's my experts? Because the motherboard is screwed down. And you know, it's funny, when you look at this thing, there's not much in here. So it's got like the motherboard on the one thing here. The motherboard is screwed down onto this metal heatsink thing where the processor is. So how do you get at it? Like, I would imagine you just slide the whole. Oh, you know what? There's a rubber foot here. Okay. So this is the only issue with this, is that you have to peel the rubber feet off. Well, don't you hate having to do this? This stinks. I don't like this. There's a lot of screws on here. So it's got to come out as one piece. But you'll never get that rubber foot back on again because all the adhesive comes off with it. Yeah, Shenzhen. Yeah. Yeah, you never know what you're getting here. Flood of Sins is here. Hello there. And I think it's an i226. If you click on the, I'm like so shameless about getting you through to my Amazon page, but if you click on the Amazon link, it'll take you over to it so you can see what it's got. All right, so now we're getting to the point where I need to get my magnetic screw holder because we've got screws all over the place here. So this is immediately turning into a project that I was hoping not to start today. Because I did want to boot this thing up and see what makes it tick, but I don't even know if it has RAM on it or not. So we need to figure out what we're dealing with here. So that is what we're going to find out. All right. So now we're going to start unscrewing more stuff. Hey, Andrew Mark David's here. I was just chatting with you. So Andrew and I had a very nice time in Berlin. We were on the same trip together. So it's good to see you. Got to meet your wife. We had a really nice couple of breakfasts and dinners. Now it's back to reality. Dealing with all this cheap stuff. There we go. That's one screw. I'm going to put them on my little thing here. And Alex has one with only 6 bits. Yeah, mine's got more bits than that. Oh, you know what, Nimble Bits? I have not picked up the new Taki. I didn't get in early enough because I was away. But it looks like they sold out already. So I'm eager to get my hands on it because it looks like, from what I'm seeing, it seems to perform as well as the original does. Yeah, so I think this one did come with RAM. The one I'm linking to has RAM on board. So it should, but I'm just curious as to what's in there because undoubtedly, if I end up reviewing this, people are going to want to know what's inside. So we have to do this part. So this is B-roll, B-roll for the final video. So when you watch the final video, whenever it gets posted, you'll be like, oh, I was here when he was doing that. But this is one of these things that there's like, from a time perspective, this is a no-win. I'm fascinated with this. I am pretty sure viewers will find it fascinating. But this is one of those things that takes up a lot of time. And if the algorithm decides that you don't want to see it, I lose. So this is N100 NAS. I'm just making a clip here for you all. Okay, so now I should be able to slide this out. But before I do, before I lose all of the screws for the back plane here, I'm going to stick them in the middle here. And while that is going, I'm going to plug my screwdriver in. So I don't think I've ever charged my screwdriver before. And my USB-C, here we go. The latest thing I'm finding, by the way, is that there are devices that have USB-C charging, like this one, apparently, that don't charge off of a PD charger. You have to plug it into like a regular USB thing that charges. Pain in the ass. Okay, so let's pull. It's still not coming out. Is it stuck in there? Oh, so the motherboard comes out, but the rest of it stays in? I am already unhappy with this. So what did I just unscrew? So all this stuff is still connected here. There's like wires all over the place. All right, so there is, why doesn't this thing slide out with the rest of it? So there is RAM on board. I think that's RAM. But this big metal thing just doesn't want to come out. It's like it's stuck in there. So what is keeping it in? Maybe I got to go in. Let's take a look and see. I bet you it's like screwed into the back of where these drives connect. Yep, that's it. So there's a need here to get inside of here to pop that off. But then there's plastic stuff in here that's holding the whole thing to the nightmare. Yeah, I'm committed to this one now. We're gonna get to the bottom of this one. The good news is there seems to be RAM and storage inside of it. The bad news is I don't know how you get at it if you ever want to replace it, because it's all connected to this backplane here. And so there's screws. See those screws in the back? What are those lined up with? Like you would think the whole thing would just slide out as one piece. Maybe it does. It's like, what's keeping it in? Well, you know what I think is keeping it in is that no, it's attached to this. Oh, there it goes. It slides forward. Okay. Now I got it. There we go. Oh, and the motherboard just falls out. So maybe there's a better way to do this. I don't know. So here's your motherboard. Okay, so it does have storage and RAM and a CR2032 battery. The other thing that I found of interest here is that it looks like it has 2 RAM slots here. Yeah, so this is DDR. This is 8 gigabytes of DDR5. Okay, 8 gigabytes of DDR5. It has a. I'm trying to see how big the drive is. It has 128 gigabytes of internal storage, but it's only got 1 slot, so it's raised. The RAM is raised up. It's not going to give you 2 RAM options here, but that's normal for these N100 PCs. They usually have single channel RAM, but they elevate it off the motherboard there. So let me zoom in a little bit closer on the motherboard. All right, we'll do another little bit of B-roll there. So this is, for all intents and purposes, this is a standard mini PC, okay? So it's not anything different than what we typically look at. What is different about, oh, this is going to be tricky here, folks. What is different about this, oh man, so how does that work? Well, it just goes up, it just lays flush to it. Boy, that really is not good. So I got to be careful when I put this back together, because what it wants to do, this doesn't go back, right? It's got to, so this has, here, check this out. So this has to rest against this like that. Like that's how it goes together. Like you've got to get it just like in line here, so that this fan can pick up the airflow. It doesn't go on top of it or underneath it, it just goes next to it. All right, we got a bunch of comments that came in here. Grand Admiral Thrawn is here. That's a good question. Well, we'll find out when we boot it up. I think there's some redeeming value to this, despite the fact that it's a pain in the you-know-what to work on. Because, and although it looks like I'm taking apart a car right now, what I think is valuable is the fact that this is designed to work as a NAS, and it works as your own thing. But yes, they sent this to me for free. I mean, this is one of the freebies. One of you will end up owning this at some point in the near future. And I'm not sure what software it comes with. I just wanted to, I didn't know what it had inside of it. I wasn't even sure if it had RAM or storage at all built in. So it doesn't have the hard drives for the NAS, but. And yes, the answer to your question, I've not answered it yet, but the answer is yes. But if you wanted something self-contained, I kind of like this idea of having alternatives, like a roll your own self-hosted Synology thing that you don't have to, you could build yourself and pay less money perhaps. So we'll go from there. Now, I enjoy doing what I do. The problem is that if people don't see it, it's hard to make a living doing it. So that's the hard part. And I know what really frustrates me is that there's things that I know you all are interested in, and just looking at the thumbnail statistics, how few of you actually see it. It's not even like you choose not to watch it. You're not even given the choice to watch it or not. And I think subscriptions should have some value. And if people aren't getting value out of my channel, I'd rather have a subscriber number that reflects how many people are actually interested versus how many the algorithm thinks are. Because it basically shadow unsubscribes people at this point. All right, now how do we put this thing back together again is the question. So it goes in this way, I think, yeah. It's gonna slide in maybe the way we exited. Oh man, this is yeah, I am not digging the way they put this thing together. Oh my goodness. I was just talking to somebody about the fact that sometimes these companies have expectations about how great their products are, and then they get to me. All right, I think we're back together here. I'll give you the other view. And I've got to get the screw holes aligned here so we can screw it all back together. I think we're good there. All right, so now we're going to put it back together now that we know what's inside of it. And we'll go from there. Yeah, it's somewhat user serviceable, but the Synology is much more user serviceable, for sure. Yeah, my hope would be that this might be kind of a fun thing for Unraid. Oh, the screw just, hang on a second. So I've got to get the screw. So the good news is you can take it apart, but you lose your rubber feet. We'll see what happens when this thing boots up, but it's missing the. I have to pull it up to get it to engage with the screw here. This is how you change RAM on this. If you ever wanted to swap out RAM or put more RAM in it, which you can do, there we go. It grabbed it there. Okay. And then we'll just start putting these screws back in. So you got to secure the motherboard first. You're probably like, Lon, you're not supposed to take it apart. Well, I did, so what are you going to do? All right, this one in here. I did watch the Apple event. That's why I started late. Usually I like to start these at like 2 o'clock. So I enjoy... I enjoyed watching it. I don't like the fact that they don't do them live anymore. I think there was a lot more fun watching Apple events when there was risk of things not working. And it makes you appreciate the original iPhone event all the more because of how volatile the hardware was at the time. So the fact that they do these things now is just like these, you know, they're pre-recorded. It's like if I ever got invited to an Apple event, I probably wouldn't go because it's like, I'm just going to go and watch a movie. I guess you get some hands-on with the equipment, but... All right, so that's in. And now we're going to put the back plane back on here. Okay, so it looks nicer from the outside. And it still sort of lines up here. Now, I don't know if there's even an OS on this thing. We'll find out when we boot it up. I got to get my display out, I guess. But I think you're better off getting like a USB 4 equipped mini PC and going from there. That seems to be the consensus. Chris Allegretta is joining us. Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, so I think we're going to look at some things on here. So I would love to get some feedback from all of you as to what you would like to see run on it. Again, I think it's got something already installed. I don't know what. So we'll find out. I always used to get nervous with these Chinese NAS devices because they'd have some thing that would allow them into your home network. So it's always been a point of contention for me. All right, it's back together. So now we know what's inside of it. We know how hard it is to take it apart. What I am going to do real quick is I'm going to grab a couple of hard drives out of my back room and configure it the way it's meant to be configured. Oh, I got hard drives over here I could use. All right, let's grab those. So one of the oddities of running a YouTube channel like this is that things just show up sometimes and you don't know where they come from. So for example, I get a package one day and I've got like these hard drives that just showed up. Like I had no idea where they came from. Here they are. So we'll use them now. This is a couple of years ago. These are Iron Wolves, 2 terabyte Iron Wolves. So we will throw those in. Now, what did I do with those drive bays? Okay, so here's the drive bay thing. This looks like 0 insertion force here. You just pop it in, and you're good to go. All right, that looks like it's in. All right, that's snapped in. That's one thing that's worked so far. What happens when we boot it up, who knows, but so far, so good. Yeah, I think you're probably right about that, Agent 09. Is that consumers really don't care about any of this other stuff anymore. And actually, it's funny because when I was out at, the past couple of dispatch videos I've done, and actually a lot of you commented on this from this past one I did, was that the video, like it was an overwhelmingly positive response to the quality of the video. Not me, not my work, but the quality of the video, which is fine. The quality of the video was something people really picked up on, and that was shot completely on my iPhone, 100% on my iPhone 15 Pro. It looked amazing. I'm using the Final Cut camera app now, so it's easier to work with the files. So this will work with, yes, but you could put in like smaller ones if you have an adapter. Yeah, this is kind of a Soho. I mean, I guess the price point at $350 is kind of more than the entry-level Synologies, right? I mean, the difference here is that this has an N100, so from a media serving perspective, you will get a little more robustness out of it. So there's probably some benefit to that. But as many of you have noted, you might as well just get a, a USB 4 direct attached storage solution. That might be a better option. Let's see. Back in the day, you get a 68K mattress designed to be open. Yeah, how about that? Very true. At least you can get at it, exactly. So, but you give up your rubber feet on the bottom. And Jay Richardson says, Synology's RAM restriction is their biggest. Yeah, so here's what's interesting about that. So I have one of their newer AMD models. I forgot the one I reviewed a little while ago. It's not good for Plex serving. Where's the plug-in? Here it goes. It's not great for Plex serving, but it is good for, oh geez, it's already turning on. I just plugged it in and it turns on. I didn't even hit the power button. It's not good for Plex serving, but it does all the other Docker stuff that I do. And that one, I just plugged in a stick of RAM and it worked. It wasn't Synology RAM. I didn't even get a warning message. It just came up and worked. Now, it doesn't look like there's any Wi-Fi on this thing either, so you're going to have to connect it to your wired network, which I'm going to do right now, although I'm reluctant to. I always know I'm looking for trouble plugging these things into my network, but I do this for you all, or you all. All right, let's get this thing hooked up to my HDMI. Oh. I was plugging into the display port. That's not a good one. Let's plug that in there. Yeah, the connectors feel very exposed to me on this. All right. All right, so we've determined that the user serviceability is there, but not quite up to par. Now it is on. But I'm not getting any signal. But again, I have to. Oh, I plugged in the wrong thing here. So let's plug in my other HDMI cable here. Let's see, where did that go? We may end up having a to be continued on this, depending on how this goes, because I have a call I got to be on at 4. Where's that thing going? So some other news for you all. Tomorrow, I'm in one of these perpetual midlife crises, so I figured I would do something new, a new hobby. So tomorrow I am taking my first flying lesson. So that's tomorrow. So if you want to see more of that, let me know. That I might turn into a different channel. Okay, so I don't know if I've got anything coming into this yet, or coming out of it. So let me hit see there's a power button on the back here. It might need an OS first, I don't know, let's see. Or maybe it powers the drives up before it does anything else. I'm not sure. Let's see here. Oh, there it goes. All right, so it is running Open Media Vault. And I will pull up the screen here so you can see what I see. So I have no experience with Open Media Vault, so you're all going to have to give me some advice on that. So that's what I've got right now. So we'll pop in there with the default password here. And it looks like CR Paul got it right. Open Media Vault is what it's got. The N100 is great. This is my favorite Intel chip in a long time. I love the N100. It's so versatile. The performance is like just outstanding on it. It's really, really good. So it looks like this thing is kind of running headless here. All right. Yeah, I need to do that. I think I'm going to VLAN a port out soon. Yeah, so I'm flying a Cherokee 140 tomorrow. So that is the plan. I've been practicing. The good thing is there's an instructor with me, she's much more capable than I am at flying a plane. So I expect to have some good learning tomorrow. All right. Let's visit the workbench. By default, the workbench administrator account is admin and the password is Open Media Vault. It's recommended you change the password. Oh, I got to plug my. So I guess I got to figure out what the IP address is for this thing. Although what I might do, let me reboot it. Yeah, so that might be the feature. I think you might be right. Yeah, so that's the biggest complaint that I hear is that it doesn't have as many PCI Express lanes as people would like. But I think for the stuff that I mess around with, like small cell, for like a home lab environment, and that's what attracted me to this is that I like the idea of having your SATA enclosure built in. The build quality is not great, but yeah, I've been practicing on Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm not sure if I'm developing good habits or bad habits. I just wanted to get familiarity with the area in which I'll be flying tomorrow. So it's amazing how good Microsoft Flight Simulator looks. I can't believe how realistic it looks. All right, let me see if I can get the IP address for this thing. And we'll pop into its control panel here. And I've got a half hour, a little bit more than a half hour. All right, so now which switch am I even plugged into? Let me just go to my list of clients here. Oh, it's already got it. It's already on my network here. Perfect. Okay, so I've got the thing here. I will show you this in a minute here. Yeah, I think this is probably going to be, so I use like a 5-bay NAS for my main stuff, and then my media server I have on a 2-bay. And as far as where people watch, no, I'm cool either place. I'm trying to like get back into the Amazon thing again because they're doing more stuff with us again. So let me just type in my 192.168. Oh, I had it on my screen here and I lost it. 2.192. Ah, okay. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this screen with you all, so you can see what I'm doing here. Which also means that when I share this screen, I'm not going to be able to, look, I might be able to do it actually. Let's see. Give me 1 second here. Tail skill. I could share it by app. And let's just do the display and we'll come back to it. Let's see if this works. Give me 1 second here. I got to type in a password here. Well, my screen isn't sharing. Let me try this again. And is it working? It's funny how sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. All right, let me just try this, type in this password here and see if I can get in first of all. So the password is admin. Admin is the username. Password is Open Media Vault. Okay, so I am in. And unfortunately, I can't show you what I see here because my media capture is not working. So give me 1 second. I'm going to see if there's an update. Actually, let's use the NDI one. Screen converter. All right, I think this might work. Hang on. There we go. Okay. Almost there. I got the wrong thing selected now. NDI scan converter. Hang on, folks. I'm almost there. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm going to click on this, and I'm just going to set this up so I can jump back and forth to your questions. Yeah, I miss Drobo also. Drobo was actually a really cool device. Won't be out of the Sikorsky. I'm not sure which airport, actually, to be honest with you. We're figuring that out tomorrow, depending on where the plane is. And this ThinkPad keyboard, by the way, you can still get these. This thing is awesome. It's called the TrackPoint keyboard. It's my go-to around here. You know why? Because I have such a small desk to do all this work on. Like, it's super convenient. They have them on Amazon. All right, here we go. So this is what it has pre-installed. I should probably see if there's any updates. No data to display. So let's see what we have for storage here. Disks. All right, so my 2 disks have been detected here. And I guess we can set up something, right? What can I do with this? Wipe, edit? Or can we build out like a volume, perhaps? I've never played with mount a file system. So let me ask you, would BTRFS be something that I should use on this? Why don't you let me know in the chat about that? We can start playing around with it. Yeah, so it's got SATA storage on it, and a little bit earlier we did get the drives installed. Apparently you can hot swap them. Let's try that. See what happens. So I should be able to. It's not coming out. I should be able to pull these things out. I'll pull out the bottom one here. Boy, it doesn't really want to let them out. The drives got in, but they ain't coming out. Let's see if we can get one of these things. There we go. So you can hot swap them, apparently. At least it says you can. So if I jump back over, oh, software failure. Left mouse to, oh, the whole thing just like, the whole thing just crapped out on me here. Let's see. Oh, it's back up. Yeah, so it looks like it does allow hot swapping, because if I go back to I go back to the screen here, you can see there's only one drive now, and if I put the drive back in, it'll spin back up. And if I hit the refresh on the screen here, I've got both drives again. And what I want to do is I want to create a file system. So let me see what you all said about what file system. So Chris suggests that we put ext4. Now I don't think I saw ZFS as one of the options. It had XFS, but I guess Unraid now supports ZFS. Yeah, I would agree, Stephen. I had a FireWire Drobo, and it was pretty slow. All right, so why don't we go? And I got to run here in about 20 minutes. Why don't we go in? This will be a to be continued, I think, everybody. So I'm going to go back to the screen you were looking at, and we're going to create a file system. I'm going blind here. I've never done one of these before, so I'm going to do BTRFS. Let's just mirror the whole thing. We're going to do this as RAID 1. That's pretty easy. This makes sense to me. That's it, huh? All right, so our file system is done here. Oh, no. I got to save this now, I guess. Pending configuration. You must apply these changes to have them take effect. Okay, where do I do that? Oh, there we go. Apply. Yes. And I'm guessing it'll be a little slow initially, and then it'll pick up speed over time. Freddie is joining us. Good to see you, sir. And I'll zoom back in on the unit here, because you don't get much on your display. It's all headless. All right. So it looks like we're good to go there. I'm going to click on a few things here just to see what I've got for options. I'm going to add a user. Give me a second here just to get my username. All right, so now I did that. I got to apply the changes here. And I'll do a quick check of my questions here. So I don't think I've gotten it in yet, but somebody did reach out to me. They've got, so this is another one, similar idea to this one. And this is in regards to what Lon.Dog is talking about here. There's a, it looks like a mini PC, but it's got 4 NVMe bays inside of it. So you can put in 4 of those NVMe drives next to each other. And you basically get a 4-bay NAS using NVMe storage. And those, the cost on those is getting to a point where you can get a 4 terabyte NVMe for not a lot of money, especially like during Prime Day sales and stuff. That might make this more attractive. All right, let me check my network. And here, yeah, it's actually showing up on my network now, which is cool. So we could even do a little benchmark. Let me try to connect to it here. Give me a second. But I am seeing it on my network. I'm going to connect as. I've got my, oops, can't be found, huh? Let's try it again here. Open Media Vault. Yeah, now I'm getting this error, but I think this is like a Mac OS 10 thing. Let me reboot my Finder. I have found OS, whatever OS we're up to now on the Mac, gets a little problematic when you switch networks around. Because I'm frequently like unplugging and plugging into Ethernet. So we'll see what we got here. Brian Grooms, thanks for stopping by. And let's take another look at this thing here. See if I can connect to it. And then we'll run a benchmark just to see how fast it is. Now, I'm on 1 gig Ethernet on my Mac here, so this may not be the best test. Yeah, it's not connecting. So it can't be found. Let me go back to our configuration screen here. Yes, I need to learn more about Open Media Vault too before I even review this thing. I'm not even sure what version this is. I don't know if there's an update available. There's different services here. Can I add more services? I don't know. Oh, I have SMB disabled. No wonder why it's not working. All right, so let's save that, and I got to apply, I'm imagining. Yeah, apply that. Yes. All right, so now we'll apply those settings. So what I like about it so far is that it doesn't appear as though it's got like some crazy custom operating system. The problem is that I don't know where it came from. So I don't know what version this is. I need to investigate all of that. So does Open Media Vault like support Docker and stuff? Like what does it use? It's very simple. I kind of like the simplicity of it. And let's see if I can connect to it now. All right, it's not letting me connect. All right, I'm going to try connecting again, this time through a different password. So the default password is admin open media vault. Yeah. I am not getting into this thing over my network. And who knows what it's doing? Rita Ann Scott, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, we're playing around with this thing here. All right, so there are some additional Open Media Vault plugins. There's packages. Yeah, I need to dig into this a little bit more before I can. Huh. Well, everybody, I'm running out of time here, but we did get it to work. So do me a favor on this one. If there's things you want me to try on this, especially as it relates to Open Media Vault, because I got to dig a little bit into it. But send me, put a comment in the video below. That'll help me organize everything. So just leave, not a chat, but a comment in the video comments section. And let's see if we can figure out some stuff with this. Because I am not sure as to what this thing is actually running with. What version it is. I'm guessing there's probably some screen in which it tells me what version this is. Okay, so it is running 7.0-32. Is that a 30? That's on an, okay, it's on an AMD 64 kernel. So why don't we go to the website here and see what the current version is. So it's not too far behind because the current version is 7.4.7 and this is running with 7.0-32. And it's using here, according to the screen, only 7% of the available RAM. But the question is, how do we update it? And I'm going to scroll through this. Let me know if any of you see any things running here that I should be concerned about. This looks like just a list of open processes here. The CPU is not getting hammered too much here, so I'm assuming that we're not doing any crypto mining or anything else like that. Yeah, it's very minimal CPU. So it looks clean, but who the heck knows, right? All right, so enable widgets. Well, let's enable all this stuff. Look at all these things we can do here. So save that. Oh, that's pretty handy. Drives look good. Yeah, so that's what we got going on here. So this is called, if you click on the link, it'll take you over there. This is called the Hialuck. If you look above here, you can see it. The Hialuck, and then I got to run. The Hialuck NAS 2-bay Mini. That is the name of it. I'm sorry, Lawn Dog asked that question. And this does have Intel NICs on board. So if you click on the Amazon link, let me go do it on my thing here. I'll show you all the specs. And then again, I got to get moving here. It looks like a lot of you are interested in this because I'm seeing a lot of clicks through. So if we look at the specs on this one, and I scroll down here, it should have all the details. So let's give you the rundown here. So Intel N100, the 2-bay, let me get rid of the chat window here. Aluminum alloy, everybody. DDR5 RAM, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, 2X I226V 2.5 gigabits. These are Intel chips. So it's got, you know, you want the Intel if you got the Linux, right? And in fairness, it did look like this when I took it apart. So they're not hiding the fact that it's kind of a disaster inside. And it's got an M2 Wi-Fi slot that's not occupied. So you could add Wi-Fi if you wanted to. And there's a few different versions of it. So this is the 2-bay. There's a 4-bay. And they have one with an N305, which is the i3 variant of these Intel Alder Lake chips. And although it doesn't have a Windows license, you could put Windows on it and just run it like a PC with 2 drives built in too. So there's another use case. But it's a pain in the you-know-what to get inside of it. So that's what it is. All right. Yeah, so the listing says it comes with 16, but the one I have here has only 8 gigs. So I don't know what that costs. I guess if we had, because we had 8 gig and a 128 gig SSD. So the 16 gig one is $349, and this one is $319 with the 8 gig and the 128. I don't think they have a bare bones version, probably because it's such a pain in the ass to take it apart. And there's a coupon available on it too. So if you wanted to run it as a mini PC, it actually would be pretty decent, actually, especially for Linux, because you got the Intel NICs and you've got some extra storage options. You could put SSDs in those 2 bays up top too if you wanted to. So there you go. Yeah, Intel NICs are clones of Intel NICs, that's right. You never know what you're getting these days. So I'm pretty sure my NIC in my server here that I use for my fiber optic connection is probably a bootleg also. But All right. Well, there you go. I'm going to shut it down because I got to get onto this call now. I started this stream later than I had hoped. And let's see how we can turn it off. I don't think the power button works because when I plugged it in, oh, there it goes. I did not shut it down properly, but we have nothing on it right now. So I will keep experimenting with this. There might be a part 2. I've got a whole pile of stuff that came in while I was gone, so we've got more things to investigate here. So we will play around with this. Again, if you have some tips on what I should look at vis-a-vis Open Media Vault, put it in the comments section, not the chat, but the comments. And that'll give me some things to look at. Because, like I said, I have not ventured into Open Media Vault yet. And I would love to get some ideas from all of you as to what you're looking for. So there you go. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Sorry this one was a little shorter than I would have liked, but I've got to get on calls. I've got children to deliver to places, and then I got to cook dinner. All of the above. And then tomorrow I've got calls. I'm going flying tomorrow. I'm going to do a little bit of airplane flying. It should be fun. And yeah, it's going to be a good day tomorrow. So we've got all sorts of things going on here. So there you go. All right. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything in the viewer activity here. And we'll begin closing up shop here. Yeah, so this one you don't need to worry about the updates because it's going to be tied to whatever you install on it. So it came with Open Media Vault pre-installed. I think what I might do is throw, I'll probably throw, whatchamacallit, Unraid on here because I've been eager to play around with that. But yeah, I mean, I think if you wanted to build your own, I would maybe go that route. So yeah, leave it in the comments what I should do with this thing. And we'll take a look as we move our way through here. But yeah, good stuff. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Sorry I couldn't go longer, but we will be back again before you know it with another one of these things. But yeah, we took it apart. So in case you're wondering what we did today, we took it apart, we booted it up. It's got Open Media Vault pre-installed. And we'll go from there. There you go. All right. I'm getting off the air now. Yeah, delivering. Yeah, I'm delivering children to where they have to be. But you never know where the day will take you. If you see some news story about some guy that delivered children, I'm your guy. I have no idea how to do it, but I've been in the room before. Okay. We will call it a day. All right. Got to run. I will talk to you all soon. Thanks for tuning in. More to come on the DIY NAS here. See you next time.